Good morning. It's Brittany with Peace, Love, and Lactation. This is my first chat with you, so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me and what information I'm hoping to offer to help you. So I have been taking care of babies since the turn of the century. Mostly, I've done perinatal nursing for over 20 years. Mostly, NICU is my love. I love the babies. I have done a variety of things. I've been in the float pool in perinatal. I have been an educator for a birthing center that was a labor LDRP, which is labor, delivery, recovery, and postpartum. Also took GYN overflows and pediatric patients. So I've got a little experience with educating those nurses on those topics. I've done some IT. Most of my clinical configuration was in lactation and newborn charting. So that's a little bit about my professional background. What I think drew me to lactation was my dad is a dairy farmer. And so I only spent weekends and, a couple weeks in the summer with him. But the time I did spend with him was focused on seeing the new babies being born, help them nurse the first time. Bovine lactation is very similar to human lactation. So just kind of getting all of that. I grew up showing dairy cattle. My family still does that, and so I get to be a part of that as well. So I think that connection and the birthing process definitely led me to the perinatal world. I am, as of January 1st, I am an internationally board certified lactation consultant, or IBCLC. But nursing, since I have a nursing background, that makes me sort of a little bit more unique than your run-of-the-mill lactation consultants. I think most lactation consultants get into lactation because they had a bad experience or they had a good experience, and that they want to share that with other people. I do not have any children. I have nieces and nephews that I love. I have a niece that I've done skin to skin and kangaroo care with. So I'm getting ready to have probably my 15th and final nephew come next month. And so I'm hoping to maybe feature him in some of these videos, but it'll just kind of depend on, how his parents feel about it. I also have a sister-in-law that's nursing a 15-month-old baby. I was nursed until my mom was told her milk turned to water, which of course I said, oh, that was hooey. They should have been watching me and how I was growing. But she nursed my brother to a year. My bonus mom nursed all three of my siblings, so I grew up seeing her nurse, and that was like back in, I'm this years old, that before car seats were really enforced, I can remember her holding the baby, nursing, and driving. So, would not fly in this world today, but that's how it was. So I just grew up in a family that lactation is very supported. So it just comes natural to us. All of my sister-in-laws and my sister at least attempted to nurse their babies, and some of them had more difficulties. So I have assisted many moms nursing, and then being a NICU nurse, I'm sometimes, as the nurse, I'm the protector of that mom, because you've got a doctor who only cares about numbers. You've got a lactation consultant that's made this like triple feeding plan for them. And it's like, I'm looking at the mom and saying, oh, you can't keep this up. I mean, I literally had a lactation consultant that made a plan that was put the baby skin to skin for 30 minutes, then nurse the baby, then pump, then fortify the milk and feed it, and then clean your pump supplies, and then start all again. Because by the time you get all that done, it's, when you're feeding every 2 to 3 hours, it's time to do that. So because I am NICU, I am not anti-PASI. And actually right now, with safe sleep recommendations, once breastfeeding is established, they actually recommend that you give the baby the pacifier. Breastfeeding helps with safe sleep and prevention of SIDS. So I am not anti-PASI, especially being in the NICU. Those babies need comfort when they're separated from their parents. So you'll find that I am pro you deciding what you want to do for yourself. So if you want to have a natural birth, I'm on board with that, and I will support you any way I can with techniques to do that. If you know you want an epidural when you hit the door, girl, you do you. That's cool. I mean, there's no real way it should be. If end up with a C-section, it is not a failure on your part. I mean, C-sections are very real and litigation is very real, so we probably use them more often than we should. I worked at a hospital too where not everybody was in-house. Surgery went home in the evening, anesthesia went home in the evening, the OB went home in the evening, the pediatrician was never there. So that team had to be called in anytime there was an emergency. So a lot of times at 5 o'clock, if mom hadn't delivered, they just go ahead and section because, that was what was most convenient for them. Didn't agree with it, but that's how it is. And then, just with litigation, they want to make sure that your baby is safe. And so sometimes that happens. So I just want you to know that essentially I support you. If you only want to give colostrum for the first few days of life and that's all you want to do, great. Any milk is good. If you know you do not want to directly breastfeed because of it hasn't worked in the past, if you have some history of abuse, whatever it is that makes you not want to do it, I support you. So if you want to pump and feed that, that's okay. And if you can't produce enough milk, it's rare, but it does happen. I support you given whatever you can. So, as long as you can nurse, even if it's a small amount, your baby gets benefit from that. So I am really flexible. I also want to make some videos to educate nurses, because they are at the bedside. Lactation is not in the hospital 24 hours a day. So that's really how I got my lactation start, is because I was a night shift nurse. So when mom came in to nurse, it was just me. That's all she had. I am learning as I go about older babies because my focus is definitely the younger babies. As our society is changing, we're having some transgender parents, definitely supportive of that. I have helped some families that were adopting babies, gay families that were adopting babies, and helping them do some nursing with SNS and that sort of thing. So I am open to meet you wherever you are. I just want to help you and take the stigma out of it, make sure that you don't have any birth trauma, and hopefully you get the delivery and the lactation experience that you want. So those are kind of some of my philosophies. I definitely plan on tackling some of the hard issues. Let me know if there's a topic you want me to cover, but really starting out with a lot of things that aren't covered that are, hard, like how do you learn what you need to know? How do you have autonomy to make decisions in your care? How do you partner with your providers and making sure that you're getting, what you need and what's best for you? So I'll cover that, how your partner can support you. I'll make a video that you can send to them, and how they can support you through this. I will try to use gender neutral terms. I've been working in mother baby and NICU and forever. So I tend to say mom and baby. I never take for granted that whoever's in the room is just a loved one. They may or may not be a partner, whether they're male or female. I've had taken care of polyamorous families. So, just I'm very open. Whatever you need is kind of where I am and where I'll meet you. Hard topics like aversion, nursing aversion, it's something that we don't really talk about. Sexual dysfunction in nursing and sexuality. So those are topics I definitely plan to discuss. So that's me. If this resonates with you, please feel free to reach out to me at peaceloveandlactation@gmail.com. I'm not always responsive with email, but if I can help you with your needs, I definitely will. All right, I will end with some loving kindness. May we be happy, may we be healthy, may we be loved, and may we be at peace. Peace. Take care, friends.